This question comes from Billy, where you have an account. You can follow George on Billy, George Galloway. Yeah. They ask, what did you think of the recent prime ministerial visit of Keir Starmer to China?
Well, oddly, although I loathe Keir Starmer, I welcomed it. It's belated, but it was an important visit for us, not really for China, but for us. Our economy and our society is in such a parlous state that it was important that he did it. But if I tell you that only 3 months ago, the Speaker of the British Parliament, whom I of course know well, summoned a special session of the Parliament to warn the members of Parliament that China was spying on them, that there was a Chinese agent, some kind of Fu Manchu scare. There was a Chinese agent under every desk, that they had infiltrated the Parliament, that they were spying on completely anonymous, unknown members of Parliament, God knows for what reason. This was only a few months ago. The British government has periodically labelled China as an enemy, as a security threat, as an adversary, as someone that we must de-risk from, decouple from. What was all that about? If now you're in the very place that you said was a threat to your national security, begging for a strategic partnership. So I don't mean to be churlish. I'm glad that he did, but I asked myself, why were you lying about China all this time before you came here?
How are these flip-flops so accepted, or are they accepted among normal people? Like, what do the normal British people think?
Well, you know, I've been supporting China for many decades, and even in the social media age, when I would post something positive about China, there would be a big pushback. But the pushback is so much less now.
Yeah.
Because everyone can see China's success. So if I put a post saying, China's wonderful at night, the railway is amazing, the infrastructure is superb, it's clean, it's safe, nobody can actually push back against that because it is self-evidently true. So I suppose most people treated this particular U-turn as I just have, with a, well, that's good news.
About time.
And that's about time.
Interesting. Now, Seamus on X asked, since you're the leader of the Workers' Party, what do you think about the prospects for socialism in Britain?
Well, it will be socialism in British characteristics. It won't be socialism like China, but socialism in China is not like socialism of the past in the Soviet Union, for example. So every country has to introduce the idea of, and maybe even put a hyphen on it, socialism. Socialism is the collective interest, acting collectively, a mixed economy with the state playing a guiding, leading role, controlling in the national interest the economic parameters within which business, capitalism can flourish. So I happen to think that China has, I won't say stumbled upon, but there was a time when this wasn't your policy in China. But they have hit upon, perhaps better to put it that way, China has hit upon the acme, the best ever synthesis of socialism and capitalism. And that will be the model that countries will follow in the future. And we are, the Workers' Party in Britain, the only party that explicitly states we want an economy like China. And it's very difficult to argue against.
Do you think there could be a problem with the semantics, though? Because socialism and communism in the West, they're just kind of seen as dirty words. But I don't think people actually understand what they mean. No. Like, do you think maybe it's time to maybe just change the word? Or maybe, how do you tell people what socialism is?
Well, I was once a party to a discussion between Fidel Castro and the late Hugo Chavez in Havana on that very point. And Fidel argued to Chavez, Don't keep talking about socialism. Do good things. And then you can tell people
That was
that's
socialism,
you know. And I thought that was very good advice. Look, I love the iconography. My house is a shrine to the iconography of the past. I've even got a bust of Stalin in my house. But we do have to find modern vocabulary, modern iconography that isn't separate from our heritage, our tradition, but is nonetheless fit for the second quarter, which we're now in, of the 21st century.
We are too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like a lot of people have socialist values.
They do. Most
but
people
they don't realize it.
No, most people do.
So how can
you ask the people? My mentor, Mr. Ben, he's the one who once asked Zhou Enlai what he thought was the lasting impact of the French Revolution in 1789. And Zhou Enlai answered, it's far too early to say. But he was my mentor, Mr. Ben. He used to say this: if we were 12 of us adrift in a boat, in a shipwreck, and we had a limited amount of food and a limited amount of water, what are we going to do? We could sell it, in which case the rich people would purchase it all until the people with no money threw them off the boat and took their food. Or we could fight for it, in which case the strong would have the food and the water and the weak would die unless they all ganged up and set upon the strong. Or we could share it according to our needs. That child needs more water. That child needs the milk. That old person needs a bit less than that young person. That woman needs more than that man, or whatever. When you explain it like that, it's kind of obvious, common sense. So what we believe in the Workers' Party is what we always preface: common sense socialism. And socialism is common sense. You just got to get past a century and more of demonization and
propaganda,
black propaganda against it.
Tough, but I think you can do it. Fire Balance on YouTube asks, lately the American dream has become the rest of the world's nightmare. Will it ever be stopped?
Well, as George Carlin said, it's called the American dream because you've got to be asleep to believe it. Of course, it is the rest of the world's nightmare. I mean, I don't know if I should say this or you'll be able to broadcast it, but Donald Trump is quite unhinged. It's quite clear to me, and I've seen a lot of it, that this man is mentally unfit to have his finger on the nuclear trigger. He is like a wrecking ball all over the world. And he's making announcements. He seems to make an announcement by the hour. Is there an hour where he spends thinking about what needs to be done? Certainly not a day. He is announcing, threatening, or making war all over the world. And this is a highly dangerous nightmare for the world. He could, like Samson, bring the whole world down on our own shoulders, all of our shoulders. And of course, the worse the Epstein affair gets for him, hard to believe it could get any worse, but it could, I'm reliably informed. And if it does, he might just commit the ultimate of destroying everything in order to save himself.
Do you think he could really be capable of doing that?
Well, I hope not. I don't know if the system exists in the US. It certainly doesn't on paper. He is the commander-in-chief. All the military officers have to obey him on paper. But one likes to think that somewhere in the top brass of the military or in the deep state would say, hang on a minute, we're not going to end the world to avoid your embarrassment of your past life. But you can't be sure of that. I'm not a gambler, but if I was, I wouldn't take a bet on that.
Terrifying. Okay, last question today, George, and this came from many people, so I'm just going to hyperphrase it. Are you moving to China?
Well, I'm partly moving to China. I'm working with a Chinese company here. We're going to promote niche tourism into China, our three niches that we have to promote with my worldwide audience is Red China, Wellness China, and Kung Fu China. And I'm looking forward to that. We are operating out of a studio here in Shanghai. We have a base in Hong Kong. But finally, formally, moving to China, probably not, but you can never say no. Do we have time for me to plug your book? Because
Great ad.
No, I really mean this. And I insisted on this book being on the table. This is not just a work of art by Andy. It is an indispensable handbook. It says 20 anti-China lies debunked. All I can say is, I wish I'd written it. It's brilliant. Get it.
George, thank you so much. It was a real honor to have you on the show. And I really hope you're back in Shanghai more often.
Yeah, we will.
Come back anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well,
thank you guys. That will be it for today. But as always, leave your comments down below and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.